Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela, and we are the Castros.
We bring you the news.
And the views that make you think.
Well, sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we don't.
This is News and Views.
And here are today's headlines.
The Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI, has recommended filing administrative and criminal cases against 8 lawmakers who allegedly own several construction firms and were awarded DPWH projects.
Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque is shrugging off the government's cancellation of his passport and a possible Interpol red notice against him.
Senator Cheese Escudero is now cleared after a COMELEC department dropped its investigation against him over a multi-million peso campaign donation from a contractor.
And Signal 1 News and 1PH were honored as TV Station of the Year at the 13th PMAP Macatao Awards for Media Excellence.
Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says his passport cancellation and possible Interpol red notice have no effect on his asylum status in Europe. That's amid his qualified human trafficking case. Now the details in this report.
No effect on me. That's what former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque told One News Historicon when asked about the cancellation of his passport and a possible Interpol red notice against him. This is in relation to his qualified human trafficking case connected to illegal pogo operations in Porac, Pampanga.
Sa akin, walang epekto sa akin talaga yung cancellation of passport. It's not something that will override my right as an asylum seeker in Europe.
Clearly, Roque has not been arrested, but without his passport, Roque is now considered an undocumented alien according to our diplomatic source.
Once that is communicated to all Interpol offices all over the world, then if mahanap nila si Attorney Roque in their area of jurisdiction, pwede nilang maaresto.
Despite being in the Netherlands for months now, Roque denies he's in hiding.
I'm not hiding. I do not know what will happen now. I prefer to stay in the Netherlands because of my promise to Tatay Digong na hindi ko naman siya iiwan.
He claims he did not leave even though on November 25, he planned to travel to Vienna, Austria. But he was denied boarding by the airline due to issues with his medical certificate and his fit-to-fly document. According to the Department of Justice, it is a standard process that you must be in the country where you are applying for asylum. Does this mean his asylum application in the Netherlands failed and now he is trying in Austria? The former presidential spokesperson clarified.
No, it is not a rejection. It simply means it is Austria that should process the application.
The DOJ is confident that Austria will thoroughly review Roque's application. Kapatid Arles de los Santos, we are One News.
The International Criminal Court's Appeals Chamber is set to rule on former President Rodrigo Duterte's appeal against his continued detention on November 28. Duterte's legal team is challenging ICC pretrial chamber one's earlier decision, which denied his request for interim release. They argue that he is unfit to stand trial, citing health and other concerns. The pretrial chamber, however, maintained that Duterte's detention remains necessary under the Rome Statute. Duterte faces 3 counts of murder related to 49 killings and is currently detained at a prison in The Hague. Joining us now is ICC Assistant to Counsel, Attorney Cristina Conti. Good morning, Attorney. Thanks for joining us again. So nice to see you.
Yes, good morning.
All right, so what do we expect from this decision from the ICC that's going to be on November 28th?
Well, on Friday, afternoon,
tomorrow.
evening, we're going to hear from the court explicitly, definitively, and hopefully finally about the interim release of Duterte.
Okay.
And there's 2 scenarios. Either they reject the appeal or they uphold the decision of the ICC pretrial chamber. So we just put it as in favor of Duterte or not in favor of Duterte. If in favor of Duterte, he could be released pending, and to be clear, this will have very little impact on the proceedings against him. Kumbaga sa atin, parang nakabail lang, pero tuloy pa rin yung hearings kung sakasakali. If it goes against him, then he stays in jail, status quo.
So ano yung possibilities? Kasi ang daming worried, no? Well, historically, attorney, I know hindi ka pwede maghula or give a forecast, but what does history tell us about cases like these?
Well, that I can share, no? That's jurisprudence, that's history of the court, and the court has not granted interim release to any person
Okay.
accused of these grave crimes at this stage of the proceedings. Kumbaga, hindi pa nagsisimula yung hearing mismo di ba? Yung
Yes.
trial nga. We're at pre-trial stage, and this person is being accused of crimes against humanity. The court has not granted interim release to someone of that accused of that nature of crime. In other cases, as has been noted, although yes, it is the right of the accused kumbaga, to be presumed innocent before being proven guilty, the other accused who have enjoyed interim release have been charged with Article 70 crimes. Ito yung sinasabing parang obstruction of justice sa atin. So Article 70 would be crimes against the administration of justice or offenses against the administration of justice. And at a later stage of the proceedings, when evidence has already been taken in by the court.
Okay.
At this point, it's as if as if the arrest would be invalidated.
Yes.
Kasi hindi pa nga nagsisimula yung trial
Right.
So you mentioned kasi when the evidence was presented sa iba at nakita medyo mahina, kaya sila nabigyan ng interim release. But in this case, yung kay President Duterte, is there a possibility moving forward? Let's say it goes to trial and then in the middle of trial, sabihin ng judge, pwede naman to pakawalan na hindi naman to risk
Well, yes. It's the fact that trial and some evidence has already been taken into note, not that evidence of guilt is strong. Medyo kakaiba sa atin Dito sa ICC, gusto lang nilang matuloy. So, kung nakita nila na sumusunod naman to sa processes, nagpapakita naman every hearing, walang pa excuse, tapos halos patapos na yung trial, baka naman pwede na, kunyari, i-forgo niyo yung personal appearance or online appearance, tapos hindi na mag-show up in court. Mas ganun yung nila. The thing is, you cannot not show up because there's no trial in absentia in the ICC. You have to be represented. So if they see that you have a steady counsel, steady legal representation through Kaufman or whoever it may be down the line, then they would say, sige, adequately represented naman. And we would be more amenable or more lenient to a request for interim release. Also, they would factor in humanitarian grounds.
Yes.
Duterte says, medyo ang tagal ko na dito and I need to see a doctor in some other country, then maybe.
Yes, I'm trying, just to add to that, attorney, kasi I'm trying to understand kasi yung differences between the ICC and of course, yung courts natin here. It seems like that the defense team of the former president is trying to avoid the evidence to be opened up at all costs. Is this like akin to saying na medyong alam nilang malakas ang ebidensya, kaya at the early stage pa lang, gusto nila i-terminate tong kaso?
Well, I don't know what the defense is thinking, but at this point, it appears like that they've pulled out all the stops so that trial will not proceed. Separate to this interim release, there's a more important motion of they have an adjournment request. Hinihiling nila na matigil na itong lahat dahil hindi na kaya ni Duterte na humarap sa kaso. At ito yung may fitness to stand trial. For this issue, which is still before the pre-trial chamber, nasa parang trial court pa, the deadlines are thereabouts within this year. On December 5, the experts who will look into his medical records are due to submit their reports. On December 12, the last day of the court, the defense, the prosecution, and the victims are supposed to send in their comments. So likely walang movement yan or walang basis to proceed with it. So the decision will come next year pa.
So, parang-
that is more consequential.
Yeah, oo. So parang kumbaga nga kasi attorney, I remember you telling this and we have to put this out there na wala pa nga tayo dun sa confirmation of
Yeah.
charges, 'di ba? So kumbaga,
Yeah.
oo, wala pa tayo dun sa part na yun. Pero I was wondering, attorney, if the interim release is granted just in case, if ever lang, hindi naman siya makakauwi dito sa Pilipinas eh. That's part of the decision, right?
That could be part of the decision, although kasi redacted eh.
Yeah,
Of course,
oo.
it's part of the theoretical framework. But from what it appears, hindi Pilipinas
Hindi
yung
eh.
second country that is parang being considered. The one of two countries has already been named. It's the Kingdom of the Netherlands kasi dadaanan siya eh.
Yeah.
Kung sakaling lumabas siya ng bansa. Tinanong din kasi ng defense, pwede bang pakitanong nga sa Netherlands? So they have to do this through the court. Pakitanong nga din sa Netherlands kung pwede bang either dadaan or number two, pwede bang partial period nung interim release, dyan iserve, kumbaga, mga 2 to 3 weeks, ganyan.
Yeah.
Tapos, pwede bang, tanong nyo na rin, baka pwedeng full. Kumbaga, just asking all the possibilities.
Pero dun po sa dito po sa prior dito sa magiging desisyon nila tomorrow, no, November 28, nagkaroon naman pa, would you know, kung nagkaroon talaga ng ang tawag doon, independent medical practitioner who saw former president. Kasi I think
So-
yung isa sa mga request, 'di ba, ng
Yes.
defense ni Duterte, ng legal team niya.
So for the November 28th hearing, not much revolves around medical situation. Mas legal yung question dito. Kumbaga, the court has basis for ordering the detention of a person. So, 1, 2, 3. Ito yung risk factors.
Okay.
Maybe then look at humanitarian grounds. I'm not sure that if they will be looking at medical reports. But for the other one, yung adjournment request na may deadline nga ng December 5, December 12,
Yung fit to stand
I'm
trial.
pretty sure that the 3 independent medical experts are approved na kasi nagkaroon ng issue dito eh. Taking ng test yung defense, sabi nila hindi ito dapat, etc. So, mukhang na-finalize naman yung list. And I'm pretty sure that these 3 experts, given that they have at least 2 of them would have 2 months to look at the records, natapos naman nila to ng maluwalhati.
Attorney, baka you could also help us understand a little na kasi we've seen reports of the impending arrest of Senator Bato de la Rosa. Ang tanong kasi ng marami na we're not familiar also, as I said kanina with ICC, how does his case affect the case of President Duterte and vice versa? Are they going to be tried under one court, under one case, or magkahiwalay sila? Kasi in some instances, baka pag mahina yung isa, maapektuhan yung isa.
Mukhang magkahiwalay na sila. Kumbaga,
Okay.
hindi na aabot si Bato dun sa kaso mismo ni Duterte. And you could tell from the warrant. So if the warrant is issued against 1 or 2 persons, then probably one case will prosper against 2 persons.
So may sarili siyang kaso.
May sariling kaso.
Okay.
At sabi nga, according to, sabi natin, jurisprudence and history of the court, possibly more charges could be put into this warrant kasi ongoing yung investigation.
So it can
And there could have been more information made available to the prosecution after Duterte's arrest.
So walang impact ang kaso nila on each other. So one can be guilty, the other one could be acquitted.
Yes, but I mean, there's some sort of relation. They could have common witnesses, they could kind of have common evidence, pero most likely separate na yan.
Has there been instance in the past na yung ganitong similar pero the other one all of a sudden will turn against the other accused, yung principal accused?
Ang parang state witness, no?
Oo, kasi baka
The ICC
maisip ni
has no
Senator Bato
concept.
ituro niya lang si Pangulo former president.
Yes, he could do that, but it will only serve as his defense. Kumbaga, may kaso, sasabihin niya, oo, umaamin ako.
Okay.
Hindi pwede para sa ICC, hindi, kumbaga, excuse yun na parang makakalaya ka na lang at kumbaga, mai-immune ka. Ganon kasi yung pagiging state witness. You will be immune from responsibility. The ICC looks at persons who are most responsible. And whether you admit your crimes or not, kumbaga medyo irrelevant yon, you will still be charged. If you want to admit, then during the hearings in your case, admit to so. And if you say, nautusan lang ako, that will be your defense.
Okay, so ang isa pa pong tinatanong natin dito is after tomorrow's decision, what would be the next steps for the prosecution?
For the prosecution, with one down of the 2 appeals, now they have to face, I think the appeal briefs for jurisdiction will be due. So yung next na issue sa appeals chamber, jurisdiction issue. May kapangyarihan ba yung ICC? Pag natapos yan, edi makahinga sila. In the meantime, sa pre-trial chamber, dun pa rin sa issue ng fitness to stand trial. Their comments on the reports of the experts are due on December 12. So yan yung mga titingnan nila. Pero sa totoo, they're trial ready. There's almost nothing else left for the prosecution to prepare for the confirmation of charges, kung sana matuloy na yon, except maybe for the script, for the actual words that they will read. Pero the outline is there. They have the draft charges, called the document containing the charges. They have a pre-trial, pre-confirmation brief, which contains, actually, this is more, kumbaga, juicy. Kasi dito namin nakita yung theory nila that there's a group of about 8 persons who are co-perpetrators of Duterte.
Okay,
So they're ready.
All right.
And we're ready as well in the part of the witnesses.
Yeah. I remember you...
Dictate, sorry.
That's right. I remember, attorney, nabanggit mo sa amin before na there are 3 factors na kinoconsider nga ng ICC chamber para nga dito kung mag-grant o hindi ng interim release. 1 would be to ensure his appearance at trial, 2 to prevent him from obstructing investigation or proceedings, and 3 to stop the potential commission of further crimes. And I was wondering kasi, since the daughter is still the Vice President of the Philippines and most of his family members are in power in Davao, yun ba ay isa rin sa tinitignan ng ICC pagdating dun sa konsiderasyon nila sa interim release?
Definitely. And the fact that he was former president and has ties to heads of state everywhere else is telling. Yun, hindi mo mabubura yun ng, ay, hindi ko sinabi yun.
Yeah.
These are facts. By their mere existence, is confirmable. Ikaw ba ang vice mayor and acting mayor ng Davao dun sa isang anak? Ikaw ba ay congressman? Yes. Kaya, the fact, because it leads to, hindi naman kumbaga, bakit naman nakakasama yun, but it leads to the possibility of him absconding because they are in positions of power and influence.
Attorney, pag umabot na tayo sa confirmation of charges, let's say natuloy na yan, what other stops can the defense pull out? Or is it tantamount to saying, basta na-confirm na yung charges, dire-diretso na sa trial?
Well, of course, motions to postpone.
So mahaba pa to?
Medyo mahaba pa. Yung usual, motion to postpone, may sakit, magpapalit ng abogado, and so forth. But substantially, after confirmation of charges hearing, halos wala na. Jurisdiction is settled. Klaro na may kapangyarihan yung ICC. Klaro na okay yung tao na itatry. Mga kuti-kuti na lang. Yung kumbaga, mga excuses na lang. But they would be minor.
Alright.
So, what I'm hearing is, the Office of the Prosecutor is not kumbaga, it's not looking at 10 years or 8 years even. It's looking at a shorter, much shorter period of time.
Right.
Given his age kasi. Oo.
Given his age, and kasi recently, sabi nga sa amin, wag nyo naman kaming underestimate because the most recently, they did 3 years in one case.
Pwede.
Kaya na namin.
Kayang pabilisin.
They're trying to beat their own kumbaga, record.
Well, I was wondering also, we've been talking about the former president, about this case, but how are the victims? Are they hopeful that decisions will be in their favor? Kamusta po sila?
For tomorrow, they're hopeful. But then just now, I'm getting these comments from the mothers that because we posted a watch party for tomorrow, it's an invitation, the victims can come in, media could be there. When this was posted on Facebook, maraming trolls na umatake at parang dinidimin yung mga victims. We're also seeing separately in a different echo chamber the narrative that Duterte is so weak and so forth. So this may be something orchestrated, and the victims now are not that they're not going to tomorrow's hearing, no? Pero parang iniisip nila na, do we have support? They're questioning that. Do we still have the interest of the people and the support of the majority as in the previous surveys disclosed? Diba? Parang sabi kasi, Filipino people are interested in hearing from the ICC. They want someone to be tried for the crimes. Pero ngayon, napag-iisip yung victims, may suporta pa ba? May interest pa ba? So hopefully tomorrow, we can gauge that better.
So, kumbaga, orchestrated sa tingin niyo po doon sa kabilang kampo para mapababa yung lakas ng loob ng mga victims regarding this case?
Yes, definitely. Kasi ang atake sa kanila is increasingly being personal, even to me. Na parang, nasan yung anak mo? Totoo bang pinatay yung anak mo?
Really?
Medyo foul yan para sa mga biktima. Because for victims, you do not diminish their victimhood.
That's right.
And the mere fact that their family member was killed, that's injury enough. You will have to feel something when someone dies in your family.
So these are the kumbaga parang threats no for the victims online, but offline meron po bang sinasabi sa inyo yung family of the victims at may lumalapit sa kanila to not pursue this case anymore? May ganun po ba?
Yes, over the course of time, but not, I don't know recently. Over the course of time, yung mga kapitbahay, may isang nagsasabi nga, police, yung pala kapitbahay na police. Things like that. But for the actionable matters, we're closely studying if we can take this either to the ICC or to local courts, or maybe to administratively. Parang maybe we can ask the police na this is improper or unethical.
When you say, Lasa, when you say you're ready for the trial, evidence, documents are there, the witnesses are there, are we going to be expecting mga high prominent witnesses that will also stand trial during the course of this case?
That would be for the prosecution to say. Pero I would say yes, they're ready. In fact, they've said during the confirmation hearing, there's 2 witnesses. At least, kaya lang sabi na, at most, sabi ng pre-trial chamber, sige, at least, 2, pwede kayong mag-upo. They have already said that they will have 2 hours for opening 30 minutes for opening statements, possibly so many hours for presentation of evidence with witness and so forth. So ready sila. On the part of the victims, we're also ready with separate a separate theory and not exactly contradicting, pero a separate statement of the victimhood. Anong injury ang nangyari sa victims. During trial, things could change, but generally, I would say that the prosecution is ready. Kaya na nilang ipresenta, lalo na yung kwento, yung bare bones, nandun sa tinatawag na pre-confirmation brief. It's all there. What's the theory of the case?
We're all looking forward to this moving forward, but also taking this opportunity, attorney, the cancellation of Harry Roque's passport, I'd like to get your reaction on that. He claims na wala tong impact sa kanya because of his asylum request. Ano ang take mo dito, attorney?
Well, I'm not sure about that. So, Harry Roque has been vague with some of the facts regarding his asylum request. Kasi sabi niya dati, hindi pa daw rejected. He's applying with Netherlands. Now, he's saying,
Austria.
pinasa na pala sa Austria, ganon. So, the facts we don't really know. But one is that when you're an asylum seeker, you need to have residence before you can get the parang foreign residency card. So, right now, I'm thinking that the identity document that he has, given that he's only been, 6 months, 7 months in the Netherlands, the primary identity document he has would be his passport.
Yes. So, pag-cancel na, wala na.
Wala ka ng identity document. Asylum seekers do get a document. The Netherlands, in checking, the Netherlands issues parang W1, W2 ID cards, but residence is necessary. So, it's a bit complicated in his case, pero will figure out. Kasi the thing is, if he stays in the Netherlands, even without an ID card, he can go around.
Oo, yeah.
But he cannot leave the Netherlands, kumbaga.
That's the problem. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an identity card.
Oo. Kasi yung pinag-uusapan dito, attorney, din yung refoulement eh. 'Di ba? So hindi din daw siya po pwedeng may kaso siya dito tungkol sa Pogo case. Canceled yung passport niya. Pero kung mahuli man siya, hindi daw siya po pwedeng maibalik dito because of that refoulement because he's an asylum seeker.
So that concept is essentially political. Hindi nyo ako pwedeng pauwiin dahil I will be persecuted in my country. But that should not excuse kumaga legitimate prosecutions. So he has to prove that he's being persecuted because of the speech. So this that's a French term, so non-refoulement. And I learned this from his class. I was his student in public international law. Non-refoulement should not excuse or should not cover for crimes that you committed in your country. There are some, of course, exceptional excuses, but if it is shown that you're just simply trying to get away from prosecution, then it will not be recognized.
Yun ngayon kasi big question din how will you prove, 'di ba? Yung what constitute a political persecution. Well, maraming salamat po muli sa inyong oras. As always, nice to get your insights. ICC Assistant to Counsel, Attorney Cristina Conti.
Thank you, Ingat.
All right, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching News and Views here on One News.
8 lawmakers allegedly linked to contractors known as contractors may face administrative and criminal cases before the Ombudsman. And the number could still rise as authorities continue to investigate more members of Congress. Here's the report.
Meron din pong development, yung ICI at saka ang DPWH, magsusumite po ng ebidensya sa Ombudsman and magrekomenda sila ng kaso ng plunder, anti-graft, bribery, conflict of interest sa 8 congressman na may...
Hours after President Bongbong Marcos made that announcement, boxes of documents were brought by officials of the Public Work Department and the Independent Commission for Infrastructure to the Ombudsman. Their recommendation: file charges against 8 so-called contractors lawmakers alleged to have ties with contractors involved in flood control projects. Among them are former Ako Bicol Representative Zaldico, CWS Party List Representative Erwin Garjola, Uswag Ilonggo Party List Representative James Ang Jr., Pusong Pinoy Party List Representative Journey Nisay, Bulacan 2nd District Representative Agustina Pancho, Cagayan 3rd District Representative Joseph Lara, Surigao del Norte 1st District Representative Francisco Matugas, and Tarlac 3rd District Representative Noel Rivera. They could face charges of plunder, graft, direct bribery, conflict of interest, and violations of the Government Procurement Act. According to the ICI, about 1,300 infrastructure projects were obtained by the contractors from 2016 to 2024. They say this is a clear conflict of interest.
This practice should have ended decades ago. The longer we allow it to exist, the more it corrodes public trust. Let us tear down this abusive system one by one with every filing. Public office is a privilege. It should not be used for personal gain or self-dealing.
The Ombudsman will now conduct an evaluation and fact-finding on the recommendations of the ICI and the DPWH. According to Ombudsman Boying Rimulya, they are also looking into another 12 to 15 contractors. More than 10% of the House of Representatives is now under investigation for alleged anomalies in flood control projects.
Madidisrupt talaga ang Congress dito. Masakit yan kasi nga, sinabi ko na sa inyo dati, this entails a lot of personal sacrifice. Kasi friendships are lost, marami hong nagagalit, marami nagtatampo, and then even my children are affected.
Let's get more updates from the ICI. We have mobile journalist Arles de los Santos on the ground. Arles, ano lang latest dyan sa ICI?
Angela, Diego, ngayong araw ay nagpapatuloy ang mga pagdinig ng Independent Commission for Infrastructure patungkol pa din doon sa mga maanomalyang flood control projects, at kasama sa mga mambabatas na humarap ngayong araw ay sina Maria Victoria Copilar ng 6th District ng Quezon City at si PM Vargas ng 5th District naman ng kaparehas na lungsod sa Quezon. Ngayon naman, Angela, hindi tayo nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na makita sila na pumasok sa pagdinig ngayong araw, pero anytime soon ay lalabas na daw itong mga mambabatas na ito. Susubukan natin na magkaroon ng panayam sa kanila para bigyang linaw ang kanilang posisyon dito. Pero matatandaan natin na itong dalawang mambabatas na ito, kasama sila doon sa mga binanggit pa rin ng mag-asawang Diskaya sa kanilang affidavit sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing na tumatanggap din daw at humihingi ng lagay para magkaroon ng smooth na flow o process ang mga flood control projects sa kanilang mga nasasakupan. Ito si Copilar, matatandaan natin na iginiit niya sa isang privileged speech sa Kongreso noon na wala siya na anumang tinanggap na anumang lagay o pa-kickback dito sa mga flood control projects, at tinanong niya pa mismo itong si Curly Diskaya kung nagkaroon sila ng interaksyon. So bukod pa doon, Angela at Diego, natanggap na rin ng ICI ang sulat ni House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos na nagpahayag ng kanyang pagkabukas kung kakailanganin mang ipatawag ng komisyon para tumulong sa isinasawang investigasyon sa mga maanomalyang flood control projects.
Arles, matanong ko lang, ano pala yung status ng yung live streaming supposedly ng ICI sa mga hearing?
Actually, Diego, dapat ICI pa rin talaga ang may kapangyarihan para sa live streaming. Ayon sa komisyon, nakahanda na raw ang kanilang mga kagamitan para sa live streaming. Pero siguro instead of looking for the live streaming, mas problema natin ngayon ay kung ano ang ila-live stream. Dahil so far, yung mga mambabatas na humarap kahapon, parehas executive session. And then yung dalawang mambabatas na humarap muli ngayon, executive session pa rin. So far, wala pa tayong mala-live stream. Though despite that, ICI confirmed na meron na silang mga materyales for that.
Actually, yun nga yung magiging problema ngayon, yung tanong dyan. So, everybody na pupunta dyan, iimbestigahan sa ICI would request an executive session. Iga-grant ba nila yun?
Parang yung dugtong ko dyan sa tanong, Arles, eventually kasi the ICI will make its recommendation para sa Ombudsman or sa DOJ for proper case filing, no? And of course, yung evidence sila ma-obtain nila through these hearings. So, will they be able to release all of this na granted na most of the information na kukuha nila galing sa executive session? Hindi naman to in aid of legislation.
Tama ka dyan, Diego, no? And yung nakita natin, actually, nasilip natin, no, yung isa sa mga affidavit ng mga dumatlo ng mga nakaraang araw, si Dinasisio, ng Caloocan 3rd District Representative, no, yung sakop na yon. Nakita natin yung kanyang affidavit dahil pinayagan niya naman daw yung komisyon na ilabas ito sa publiko. Pero yung hearing, executive session daw para hindi magkaroon ng public judgment, no, yung trial by publicity na ating tinatawag. Pero nung iniskema natin yung laman ng mga testamento, so far, ito ay pag-deny lamang naman ng mga alegasyon sa kanya at yung mga pahayag ng mga diskaya na nag-link ka sa kanya sa mga flood control anomaly na ito. No? And then yung mga ebidensya naman nitong ICI sa mga pagdinig nila, later on, ibinibigay sa ombudsman. Nakikita natin actually yung ilang mga findings doon.
Yes.
No? Kasi pag tinatawag nilang filing doon, ito ay interim report at case recommendations sa ombudsman.
That's right.
Kagaya naman nung kahapon, no, nakita natin na talagang bilyon-bilyong piso yung nakalista doon na mga proyekto na nakuha ng mga 8 na tinatawag umano'y contractors. No? At actually, mula 2016 hanggang 2024, 1,300 projects yung kanilang nakuha. So, yung mga ganung bagay na iipon ng ICI, siguro nakaposisyon daw yon doon sa umiiral na mga batas nang sa gayon hindi rin madiskaril yung kanilang isinasagawang probe dito sa flood control anomaly.
Well, ang sabi rin ng ICI yesterday through their statement, possible there are 1,200 people involved in this flood control projects. How did they come up with this number? And kailan pa natin may expect yung pagbibigay ng mga dokumento mula sa AFP, PNP to help with the investigation?
Actually, Angela, yung 1,200, I think at least no, sa previous press conference, I think that's much lower than expected. Kasi kung matatandaan natin, may 421 suspected flood control projects. So, para magkaroon ng isang proyekto, dadaan yan sa distrito and then sa regional engineers and then yung mga proponent nito. No? So kung 421 yun, sabihin na natin na 10 mga katao yung sangkot dito. No? So that's actually 4,000 in an estimate. No? And nung pumusita nga tayo doon sa Quezon City Jail, yung tinatawag nilang pagkukulungan sa mga involved sa flood control anomaly, kulang daw yung 1,000 capacity, 1,000 prisoners or people na pwedeng makulong doon. No? Kasi parang tinitignan nga na siguro 4,000, mababa pa yun, no? And then yung mga tao na ipatatawag, kailangan pa rin nating subaybayan kung sino-sino pa nga ba ang mga ito.
Kasi parang sinasabi ni former Secretary Babes Singson, in every project daw, typically in one project, 15 people are involved already. So parang he's saying using that ratio, they would come up 1,200 initially that people may be involved in this flood control projects. But we don't know though. Tingnan natin nga din sa course ng investigation nila. Pero ang tanong din dito, Arles, kailan pa tayo makakakuha ng impormasyon tungkol sa additional recommendation ng ICI sa Ombudsman para tuloy-tuloy lang yung pagka-file ng kaso?
Ang ICI naman, Angela, ay so far firm sila na patuloy ang kanilang case build-up at case recommendation sa mga paparating pang-araw. Sa bawat pagpasa nila actually sa Ombudsman ng mga case recommendation, firm naman na sinasabi ni ICI Chairperson Andres Reyes na there is more name to come at dapat matigil na itong ganitong sistema ng korupsyon. So talagang marami pang pangalan ng ating aasahan. At alam nyo, yung 8 mga contractors na tinatawag, hindi sila humarap dito sa ICI. But the commission was able to submit a case referral. Tinignan nila yung ilang mga history ng mga project ng DPWH, and I think doon sila nagkakaroon ng grounds in coordination of course with the DPWH na sangay ng pamahalaan na may hawak na mga infrastructure projects ng ating gobyerno.
Last na, Arles, on my side, kasi yesterday nagkaroon nga tayo ng breaking news, si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos talking to us, yung kanyang report regarding this issue. At doon sa kanyang panghuling pananalita ay sinabi niya na meron daw, nagbablackmail daw yung kampo ni former Congressman Zaldico through his lawyer, saying na kung hindi kakansela yung pasaporte niya ay hindi na siya maglalabas ng iba pang mga video statements. I was wondering if ICI is also considering this as part of their investigation evidence. Maaring matanong si Pangulo kung meron siyang ebidensya tungkol dito sa pang-blackmail, because as of this time may denial of course sa kampo nila Zaldico.
Angela, actually, patungkol dun kay Zaldico sa mga video niya. Isa kasi sa mga tinanong ko personally kay ICI ED Brian Hosaka na nag-i-start na bang mag-materialize yung mga video na inilabas ni Zaldico, dahil kahit si House Majority Leader and Presidential son Sandro Marcos willing na raw na pumunta dito at humarap sa komisyon para tumulong sa investigasyon. Ayon kay Hosaka, they are not confirming the speculation, no? But so far ang posisyon nila ay kung sino man yung mga personality may mga nalalaman at mga impormasyon kaugnay dito sa malawakang korupsyon sa mga flood control and infrastructure projects ng pamahalaan ay bukas naman daw sila. But on the previous day, at least ang hamon naman kay Zaldico ay nananatili na bumalik dito sa Pilipinas at panumpaan ang kanyang mga isinalaysay sa mga video na inilabas sa kanyang mga social media.
All right, thank you for that. Mobile journalist Arles de los Santos reporting live from ICI headquarters in Taguig. Resigned Congressman Zaldico is airing new allegations. This time, he is accusing First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos of being involved in a new alleged corruption scheme involving importations. Here's the report.
In another video posted on social media, Zaldico implicated First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, this time for allegedly pulling her weight on rice importers. The former congressman on the run cited supposed data from Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. himself. Co claimed that in 2024, he requested then House Speaker Martin Romualdez to investigate skyrocketing rice prices. But Congressman Sandro Marcos allegedly called Romualdez to nip any probe in the bud upon the orders of his father, the president. Co further alleged that Tiu Laurel was even reprimanded by the speaker for a report that mentioned the First Lady in rice smuggling. The resigned Bicol party list representative also accused Mrs. Marcos of blocking any investigation into onion prices back in 2022 because her brother, Martin Araneta, was into importation of the product.
Mula sa Pangulo, First Lady, hanggang sana sila mismo ang nagtatakda, kumukontrol at nakikinabang sa mga transaksyon dapat sanay para sa kapakanan ng sambayanan.
Noted earlier this year, Agriculture Secretary Tiu Laurel revealed that Zaldico forced the DA to issue importation permits to his 3 companies. The DA chief said Co wanted permits for a massive volume of fish, something that violates the import formula of the agency. Co's latest video came out a few hours after President Bongbong Marcos revealed in his vlog that the ex-congressman tried blackmail on him. Marcos said Co's lawyer offered a stop to his client's video uploads if the government will not pursue the cancellation of Co's passport.
I do not negotiate with criminals. Kahit maglabas ka na ng video ng lahat ng kasinungalingan mo na pag-destabilize sa gobyerno, gusto kong malaman mo, Zaldi, makakansela pa rin ang passport mo. Hindi ka na makakatakas sa hustisya.
Co's lawyer attorney Rui Rondain was quick to call the president's statement, quote, completely untrue. Rondain said he never spoke to anyone about Co's videos and passport. Prior to this, Zaldico also released a letter he claimed to have written President Marcos in February this year, calling for scrutiny of insertions in the national budget. This, too, was brushed aside by the palace. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro did not only cite inconsistencies in Co's video statements.
Sa tuwing mapupunan natin ang kanyang mga inconsistencies, sumasabay po ang kanyang pagbabago ng kwento sa pagbabago ng hairstyle sa video.
Kapatid Mobile Journal Julie Baiza, Bureau 1 News.
COMELEC clears Senator Chis Escudero of violating election laws over the 30 million peso campaign donation from contractor Lawrence Lubiano. The PO body's Political Finance and Affairs Department ruled the contribution as personal and not connected to Lubiano's company, Center Waste Construction, despite the firm holding government contracts during Escudero's 2022 campaign. The department found no evidence of fraud or bad faith and terminated the investigation into both Escudero and Lubiano. In a statement, the senator welcomed this development, saying the decision shows that transparency and honesty in following rules prevail. He added that the COMELEC's ruling strengthens his confidence in institutions and his commitment to serve the people.
Signal won big at the 13th PMAP Makatao Awards with 1 News and 1 PH named TV Stations of the Year. Here's the report.
It was a big night for the Signal family at the 13th PMAP Macatao Awards for Media Excellence held at Dusat Tani in Makati on Wednesday. One News and One PH bagged the TV Station of the Year special citation for the second consecutive year. Accepting the award were Risa Gilas, Head of Channel Management and Programming, Jovi Francisco, Head of News, and Jose Christopher Cadua from Human Resources.
It was a challenging and hectic past year for us, all of us in the industry, because of the elections, The Hague, the Vatican, and the corruption issues in government po na patuloy nating binabantayan. But we will continue delivering fair and needed content. So thanks PMAP for the recognition.
It's such a huge honor to receive the TV Station of the Year award for the second consecutive year. So this recognition is really a testament to the hard work and dedication of the people behind our One News and One PH newsrooms. And of course, our platforms in the past year have allowed us to reach millions of people. This really helps us raise our standards even more and expand the reach of truthful and meaningful storytelling.
TV5's primetime newscast Frontline Pilipinas also won in the TV news program category for the third time.
Nabuo yung Frontline Pilipinas noong pandemya para gusto namin nasa frontline ng mga balita yung bawat Pilipino noong hinaharap natin yung pandemya. And ngayon, na marami na naman tayong isyong hinaharap, nandito pa rin ang frontline para magbigay ng mga balita na mapagkakatiwalaan.
News anchor Cheryl Cosim won as well as TV program host for the second time.
I-flex ko lang po, second time is truly humbling. Alam niyo po, this award reminds me of why we do what we do. To inform with integrity, to tell stories with compassion, and to serve the public with truth at the center.
PMAP trustee Joseph Lawrence Reyes said the event celebrates integrity, responsible storytelling, and enduring partnerships with the media community.
A meaningful celebration of integrity, responsible storytelling, and the enduring partnership between the media and the people management community. For more than a decade,
Congratulations.
Congratulations sa atin lahat. Another successful year. Right, don't go away because we're not done yet. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News and Views here on The One News. Severe tropical storm Verbena has exited the Philippine area of responsibility. For more updates, we have Pag-asa weather specialist Lian Loreto. Lian.
Magandang tanghali po sa ating lahat, Sir Chego and Ma'am Angela, at sa lahat po ng ating mga taga-subaybay. So ngayon nga po ay mas lumakas pa o nag-intensify itong si Bagyong Verbena habang nasa labas ng ating area of responsibility at naging typhoon category na nga po ito. Nasa layong 255 kilometers sa north ng Pag-asa Island, Kalayaan, Palawan, at meron na nga pong taglay na hangin na abot sa 140 kilometers per hour at pagbugso na abot sa 170 kilometers per hour. Kumikilos po ito pa west-northwestward, may kahinaan 15 kilometers per hour na lamang, at dahil nga po doon ay may nakataas pa rin po tayo na wind signal number 1 sa may Kalayaan Islands, kaya't bawal pa rin nga pong maglayag yung ating mga kababayan dyan. Matataas pa rin po yung ating mga karagatan ay yung mga pag-alon, at meron pa rin po tayong malalakas na mga pag-ulan dyan. Yes,
Okay.
po, and aside,
Go ahead,
yes.
go ahead po.
And aside po doon, nakataas pa rin po yung ating gale warning sa may seaboards naman po ng Northern Luzon dahil naman po sa amihan. So, yun po, bawal pa pong maglayag yung ating mga kababayan, and ine-expect naman po natin, dahil mahina nga yung kanyang pagkilos nitong si Bagyong Verbena, ay maaari pa rin po tayo magkaroon ng mga wind signal hanggang sa Sabado. At aside po dito, yung shear line naman po ay magdadala din po ng mga pag-ulan sa may Northern Luzon area. Ito pong shear line, yung banggaan naman po ito ng hanging amihan at ng easterlies. So expect po natin sa mga areas na nandito po sa may Apayao, Kalinga, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Mainland, Cagayan at Isabela, may malalakas po tayo mga pag-ulan dyan dahil sa shear line. At amihan naman po ang rason kung bakit meron tayong maulap na panahon naman sa may Ilocos region, na lalabing bahagi ng Cordillera sa at Cagayan Valley. Ngunit malaking bahagi naman po ng ating bansa, kabilang ang Metro Manila, asahan naman po natin yung magandang panahon. May mga thunderstorms lang po tayo pagdating ng hapon at gabi.
Alright, sige po. Meron pa po ba tayong nakikitang weather system sa atin na binabantayan as of this time?
Well, sa ngayon, in the next 2 to 3 days, wala pa naman po tayong sama ng panahon na nakikita. Ngunit, pagsapit po ng linggo, ay maaari po tayong may mabuo na low pressure area sa may silangan ng Mindanao. So, ito po'y binabantayan natin, at sa ngayon, mataas pa rin po yung kanyang uncertainty kung saan ba ito magdadala ng mga pag-ulan. Ngunit, yun nga po, na low chance pa naman po yung kanyang development. Ngunit, antabayanan lamang po natin yung updates galing dito sa Pag-asa.
Oo, kasi tinatanong din natin, ma'am, yung magiging lagay ng panahon sa gaganaping trillion peso march. That's going to be on Sunday. Oo.
Yes po. Malaking bahagi naman po ng ating bansa ay maliwalas naman po yung yung ating panahon. Ngunit asahan nga po natin may thunderstorms pa rin po tayo sa hapon.
Alright, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Pag-asa Weather Specialist Lian Loreto. Now in other news, the Anti-Red Tape Authority or ARTA has released the list of the top 10 most complained government agencies for 2025. At the top is Food and Drug Administration, followed by the Land Transportation Office and the Bureau of Internal Revenue. ARTA says the rankings were based on reports submitted through email, social media, physical mail, online systems, and its public assistance desk. The data covers complaints from January 1 to October 31, 2025. Most of the violations involved delays in processing applications or requests without valid justification, breaching the ease of doing business law.
In sports, the LaSalle Green Archers secured the fourth and final spot in the UAAP men's basketball semifinals after a thrilling 78-72 win over the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Ateneo took control in the third quarter with hot shooting and sharp teamwork, building an 11-point lead. But LaSalle staged a comeback in the fourth quarter, led by guard Jacob Cortez and veteran Mike Phillips. In the final minute, Ateneo tied the game at 72-all, but Cortez made a crucial steal and nailed a dagger shot with under 9 seconds left to seal the victory. LaSalle will now face top-seeded NU Bulldogs, who hold a twice-to-beat advantage in the semifinals.
I've been doing that since I was a kid, counting down by yourself in the gym, and what best way to do it in the Ateneo LaSalle game, crucial game.
And I always tell these guys that, you're part of this moment right now. So make sure that you're gonna make lasting memories.
The holiday season comes alive at Meralco Liwanag Park in Plaza Roma, Intramuros, just in front of the Manila Cathedral. Visitors are greeted by dazzling display of Christmas lights and festive decorations capturing the warmth and joy of a Filipino Christmas. A centerpiece of the park is a 20-foot giant Christmas tree crafted entirely from recycled materials. Meralco Liwanag Park is presented by the Intramuros Administration, Meralco, and the One Meralco Foundation. The park opens to visitors starting today with light displays from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every evening until January 4.
Makadalaw nga dyan pang tanggal ng stress, di ba? Sana may mga...
December 1 na next week so
may
talaga.
mga booth dyan na may mga puto bumbong at bibingka.
Christmas feel.
Di ba? Para matanggal naman ang stress sa... This year was truly something else.
Exactly.
Oh, I mean, the pandemic year was also something else. But ito, issue
Sunod-sunod
after
no?
issue, di ba? Ika nga sabi ni Jovi when he made that speech sa award natin, na from the Vatican to the ICC arrest, the corruption issues, mga bagyo na pumasok, earthquakes na pumasok. The nation was always on edge this whole year, di ba? So siguro,
and we are here to capture it.
We're here to capture it, but approaching Christmas, sana we all have time to reflect na despite of all these things that are happening, the Lord is still with us.
Yeah.
And that there's still light at the end of all of this, hopefully, di ba?
And we won't forget, di ba, na hindi lang ito bugso ng damdamin dun sa mga corruption na issue natin.
But yun lang, point nun is...
Nagulat ako dito sa yung top 10 most complained agencies. Number 10 yung Bureau of Customs.
No, I was gonna mention that, pero kasi ang basis nito is ease of doing business.
Bakit? Di ba?
No. Isipin mo ganito, ha?
Number 10 lang, dapat
Hindi, isipin mo nga to, kurakot kayo. Di ba? Kurakot kayo, magreklamo kayo. Hindi, wala magsasalita. Di ba sabi nga ni Senator JV sa BIR, wala naman sasalita against BIR dahil natatakot kayo eh. Wala naman magsasalita against that di ba?
Exactly.
Ang nakikita mo ba dyan ng DPWH?
Pero, wala nga eh. Pero ang Bureau
Ease of doing business kasi.
BIR is number 3, which is meron tayong problema rin dito.
Alam mo ba't wala daw DPWH dyan? Napakadali mag-business sa DPWH. Ease of doing business.
Akala ko kasi ghost na eh.
Wala
Pati yung
kahigpit.
DPWH
Sabi
ghost
nga
na.
nila, di ba? Walang kahigpit to do business with DPWH. Napakadali. Tanong nyo si
Sobrang
Bryce at si Alcantara.
Sobrang dali, ang dami nangyari. Alright.
That wraps up. Meron akong quote, kaso hindi ata ito basahin ko na lang Nalagay ko naman dito tama-tama, we were talking about the ease of doing business. So ito corruption is more than just a manifestation of greed. It is a concrete form of evil. From Cardinal Joe. Yan it's a concrete form of evil. Corruption. So yung mga corrupt, mga evil kayo. Unless gusto niya magbago. Okay, that wraps up today's episode of News and Views.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
I'm Angelo Castro III. Kapatid, we are One News.
Magbago at makulong sila.
Evil!
All sides, all the time.